Hello students, myself Mohammad Ramiz and I welcome you all on behalf of Saraswat International Academy. Today in this session, we are going to learn the part 2 of chapter number 1, that is Economics and Introduction. So students, in today's session we will discuss how the word economics originated in Indian thought and Western thought, and we will learn the definition of economics given by the different experts known as economists. So let's start. As you can see, the first point, the word economics in Indian thought is called as Arthashastra. Okay, so economics is a which word? Economics is the English word, and in Indian thought economics is called as what? Arthashastra. Now the second point, the word Arthashastra derived from Sanskrit word. This Arthashastra word is derived from the Sanskrit word where Artha means what? Purpose or goal. Okay, now every human being has some purpose or goal. The person who are going to job, they have the purpose and goal that they will go to the job and they will earn and sustain their living. So economics, or you can say Arthashastra, is a science which help us and which show us about what? About how to attain the goal of our life. Now see the third point, Arthashastra. Arthashastra in Sanskrit means what? It means that science of benefits or purpose in practical life. So Arthashastra is a science, okay, which teach us about how to gain the benefit, how to get the benefit, how to achieve the goal in our practical life. The English word economics is derived from a Greek word. Which Greek word? Oikonomos. Where oiko means what? Oiko means household and monos means management. Together it is called as management of household. So students, as we all know, in most of the families, the father do earn income, which is a resource for a family. And this income, which is earned by father, is managed by whom? You all know the answer. It is managed by mother. Mother do make a budget about how to run a family and how to do the income and expenditure, how to manage the income and expenditure of a family. In the same way, if we take an example at macro level, then whatever the resource the country is having, that is managed by government. And economics is a subject which teach the government about how to run the country. So making the budget, national income, per capita income, how to reduce the poverty, how to give the more employment to the people, these all are the subject matter of economics only. Economics in Indian thought. The history of Indian culture is almost more than 5,000 years old. So as we all know that Indian culture is very ancient. We have studied this in standard 10th also. We know how prosperous and rich our Indian culture is. Here it is said that Indian culture is almost more than 5,000 years old, and thus Indian philosophy shows the various aspects of human life. The four Purusharthas, the purpose of human being in Indian philosophy are what? The first, that is dharma, the duty and rightness. So here it shows that what are the duties of the human being towards the society. The second is artha. Artha means purpose, benefit and wealth. Third is kama. Kama means desire of the human being. Desire means wish of the human being. And fourth, that is moksha, that is liberation. It means reduction of rules and regulation. The activities of life done for earth, for getting the benefit, are the subject matter of economics. Okay, we do many of the activities in our daily life, but for the economics, for the subject economics, the activities which activities, the activity which are giving the benefits are only the subject matter of economics. Any activity done with the purpose of obtaining some benefits is called economic activity. So any activity which is done by the human being and expect a monetary return, then it is considered as which activity? Economic activity. Suppose a man working at office, then as per his terms and condition of employment at the end of the month, he will expect a salary in return. Then it is a which activity? Economic activity. Another example we will take the doctor treating a patient and in return the doctor will expect a fees. It is a which activity? It is a economic activity. Now we will see the next point. 2500 years ago, Kautilya, who was also known as Chanakya, Kautilya famously known as what? Chanakya, discussed in his book Arthashastra. The Arthashastra is a book written by Chanakya. The purpose of economic activity undertaken by a state and society. Here the state means country, society means people. Okay, so in the book of Arthashastra, Chanakya discuss about the motive of economic activity undertaken by a country and people. According to Kautilya, the science explaining the purpose and utility of wealth creation on earth is called economics. So, economics is a science which explain and guide us about how to utilize the wealth and also how to increase the wealth. So, Kautilya told that science which is explaining the purpose and utility of wealth creation on earth is called what? Is called economics. Now we will learn the development of economics as a science in the West. Till now we have learned in the Indian thought. See the first point. Greek philosopher Aristotle gave his views on economics in the book O Economica. You have to remember this for the MCQ one line. The Greek philosopher named Aristotle gave his views on economics in which book? In his book named O Economica. Second point, Adam Smith wrote in 1776 a book titled, what is the name? An Inquiry into the Nature and Causes of Wealth of Nation. And this book popularly known as what? Wealth of Nation. Adam Smith is considered as what? Father of modern economy. This question comes many a time in the examination, that who is known as the father of modern economics. You have to remember this, Adam Smith. So in this slide we discuss that Greek philosopher named Aristotle gave his views on economic subject in his book O Economica. Adam Smith wrote a book in the year 1776. The book title is what? An Inquiry into the Nature and Causes of Wealth of Nation, popularly known as what? Wealth of Nation. If you remember this name, the Wealth of Nation, then also it is okay. And who is considered as the father of modern economy? Answer will be Adam Smith. Now in this slide, you can see the definition given by Adam Smith about economics. Economics is the study of the nature and causes of wealth of nation. In other words, this definition can be said as economics studies the what? Exchange of physical wealth produced by labor. I will explain you the features and criticism of this definition, then you will understand this more clearly. Here you can see the features of Adam Smith definition. The first point, economics is the study of wealth only. So, as you all know, the name of the book of Adam Smith is Wealth of Nation. So, according to Adam Smith, economics is about wealth creation, wealth utilization. Adam Smith have not given the importance to human welfare. Now see the second point. It study only material good, tangible goods. Now first of all you have to know that what is tangible goods. The goods to whom which we can touch and see, that are the tangible goods. So here Adam Smith is telling that tangible goods are only helpful in creation of wealth. Now see the third point, intangible goods. Intangible goods means the goods to whom which we cannot see and touch, such as like air, sunshine, services of doctor, teacher. Okay, so Adam Smith told that these intangible goods are not helpful in creation of wealth. And fourth point, it studies change in wealth means economic development. So whichever thing is helpful in change in wealth is considered as what? Economic development. We will see once again, according to Adam Smith, economics is the study of wealth only. Second point, in the creation of wealth, tangible goods are only helpful. In the third point, here it is said that intangible goods are not helpful in creation of wealth according to Adam Smith. And fourth point, whichever thing is helpful in changing the wealth, in creation of wealth is considered as what? Economic development. Now we will learn the criticism done by the Alfred Marshall on the definition of Adam Smith. The first point you can see, Alfred Marshall told that Adam Smith have focused mostly on the wealth. Adam Smith have ignored the concept of human welfare. Second point, only tangible material goods have been taken into consideration. This we have seen in the earlier slide that Adam Smith had told that tangible goods are only helpful for what? For creation of wealth. The services of teacher, doctors, the different professional persons are ignored. Adam Smith had told that they are not helpful in creation of wealth of nation, and that is wrong. So Alfred Marshall told in this criticism that Adam Smith have considered only tangible goods, that is not fair. Now the third point, no mention of human welfare. This we have discussed earlier that Adam Smith in his definition have not considered, in his book not considered about human welfare. And the fourth point, no focus on nation problem. The nation problems such as poverty, unemployment, inflation, on such problem no solutions are given by the Adam Smith in his book. Okay. What is the book of the name of Adam Smith? An Inquiry into the Nature and Causes of Wealth of Nation. And in which year he have written this book? 1776. Now we are going to learn about Alfred Marshall, the one who had criticized the Adam Smith definition. And Alfred Marshall is focusing on welfare. Adam Smith was focusing on wealth, and now the Alfred Marshall called economics as a science of material well-being. Alfred Marshall, in his book Principle of Economics, you have to remember which book Alfred Marshall have written, Principles of Economics, in which year it was published, 1890. The definition is given here. Economics is the study of mankind in the ordinary business of life. This definition we are going to discuss in detail right now. So here you can see a detailed definition given by Alfred Marshall about economics. Economics is a study of mankind in the ordinary business of life. It examines that part of individual and social action which is most closely connected with the attainment and with the use of material requisite of well-being. Thus, it is on the one side a study of wealth, and on the other and more important side a part of the study of man. So majorly, Alfred Marshall focus on the following. Ordinary business of life, it means activity which occupies considerable part of human occupation. And second, wealth, but more focus is on study of mankind. Marshall concern all about material well-being. Here is the demerits of Alfred Marshall definition. The first point you can see, he ignored the immaterial things. It means Alfred Marshall also ignored the service sector. Okay, he ignored the services of doctors, lawyers, and different professional persons. Okay, and the second thing is Mr. Robbins. Okay, he is the economist. He criticized the Alfred Marshall definition. He told that the concept of welfare was not clearly explained and clearly expressed by the Alfred Marshall. Robbins have criticized that welfare concept was explained in general in his book and not in detail. Now in the next session we are going to learn the definition given by Robbins and Paul Samuelson.